I'm sorry, we need to talk. The spark is gone and it's just not working for me anymore. We've had a great 4 years together. We've had some fun times, but this needs to end. And you will find someone who will love you so much more than I will. In fact, I'll help you. Yeah, 5 plants are getting the breakup talk from me today. I'm sorry, little guy. But honestly, that is just the headline of this video, because before I could even think about rehoming this poor little guy and a few others, I actually had to deal with the real problem, and that is that my 300 plants are starting to become a bit of a chore. Honestly, I used to wake up so excited about my plant care, especially on a weekend. You know, I'd get repotting and I'd be out in nature, I'd enjoy my nice outdoor lounge setting, maybe even go to a nursery. And that excitement, that pure joy of getting a new plant or fixing up my plants, you know, I had that for such a long time. But somewhere along the way, somewhere over the last 12 months, and look, the last year hasn't been the best year for me, I must admit, in other areas, my plant care just started to feel more like a to-do list, not the fun that it used to be. And I just didn't want to look after my plants as much as I used to. Some still got the good treatment, don't get me wrong, but a lot of them, I just felt exhausted about looking after my plants. And not because they weren't doing very well, they weren't dying off or anything. Most of them were fine. And look, I know how to care for plants. I have over 300 plants in my collection, so I know it's not a skills problem. I also maybe thought it was a volume problem because I do have a lot, but that never used to be the issue either. What I've realized, it is a perception problem, or more to the point, just a mental load problem of all the little things that I was letting go of while I wasn't in the best state of mind over the last 12 months. So I had this mental overload with my plants, add to that a hard year in 2025, and of course, plant care, something that I used to enjoy, became more of a plant chore, and I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. Sound familiar? And the poor plants, it wasn't the plants' fault. It definitely wasn't this Birkin's fault here. I realized I just wasn't giving myself permission to let go of things, to let go of the chores, to let go of perhaps the plants that weren't doing so well or I didn't want. So this week I have decided, well, I've already been doing it a little bit actually. So I have done a full plant collection like audit, not just the big dramatic ones, the whole thing, inside and outside. I've looked at my propagations, I've looked at my, shelf, the ones at the back as well as the ones at the front, all of the things I've been keeping out of guilt, all of it. And it wasn't anywhere near as bad as I thought it was. And honestly, what I've done so far, it's already been so worth it mentally. So first thing I did is I went around my house, I got a pen and a piece of paper, analog style, and I walked around my house and I literally just wrote everything down. Instead of keeping it in my head, I wrote it all down on a piece of paper. Big things, little things, I just didn't want to deal with. So for example, plants that needed maybe a bit of a top up with soil, or pots lying around. I have quite a few of them over there. I also noted down plants that I wasn't really enjoying anymore. I just wrote down everything and anything that I could think of or that I could see that needed some kind of attention. And when it came to the plants themselves, if I wasn't sure what I would do with it, I would ask myself this one question. Was I looking at it excited for growth, or, did I feel cool about it, or was I waiting for something? Or did I look at that plant and think, I'll check that next week, right? If I was thinking to myself, I'll just leave that alone, I couldn't be bothered type thing, then I needed to do something about that plant. So I went back, and out of all those plants that I was like, not sure, I grabbed them and I've put them here on this table, as you can see here. And honestly, that felt so good. Just that one little thing, I grabbed about 30 different plants. That felt so good. I did it again. I went back around my house and I picked up even more a second time. The ones, some of them are those tiny plants under like a couple of inches that I've propagated just to see what kind of plant they were. Maybe I forgot. A lot of these were too small to display, and so they were hidden up the back and they weren't really being looked after. These weren't plants anymore for me. They were like visual noise. They were just filling up room, and they were stealing my mental energy. Honestly, this many plants like this isn't a collection. This is a job. This is the part that feels like it's just too much. Because these tiny plants and propagations, they sound harmless, but they all need watering, they all need checking, and they all have a space up here. These recovery projects, they are an investment in time, in mental energy. And what I've now realized is these little things were making the big things also feel like work. And I just couldn't enjoy my collection as much anymore when I've been drowning in the maybes and the somedays. Have you ever felt this way? Drop it in the comments if you feel this too, because I know exactly what that feels like. I've never really felt it before until recently. And now that I've started to give myself permission to actually let go of the more healthier plants, the whole thing has already just felt a lot easier and a lot lighter. And looking at the stuff that I'm actually going to do something about and you know, move on, I can feel the pressure starting to lift, which is such a lovely feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not the easiest thing to do. If you're like me, at times I've been thinking, isn't this just wasteful, or you can't get rid of healthy plants, or don't throw them away because you can still fix them and sell them. It's, you know, what a waste. That's what goes through my head with all of this type of stuff. And honestly, for a long time there, I would not give away or get rid of any of these plants because I would just feel so guilty about it. But keeping them out of guilt is actually more wasteful than it is good. They're just sitting there, they're getting bare minimum care. So it's better that these guys go to someone who's genuinely obsessed with them. You know that feeling, you're a plant person, I know you do. You feel obsessed about plants. There's this like adrenaline rush that goes through your mind when you get a new plant or you've got a plant that you absolutely love. So why don't I just rehome some of these beautiful plants to people who will actually have that new plant obsession feeling? That's not wasteful, that's caring, and honestly, I think that's actually a smart thing to do. By the way, I actually documented this whole declutter thing that I did over the last few weeks because it has been so good that I'm definitely going to do it again. So if you want to declutter your plant life with me in the next round, I'm actually turning it into a free mini email series that you can join. So we can go through it together step by step. It's free and the link is in the description below if you want to join me. Right, so I did all of that. I did that list right at the beginning, but that list has also helped me, as I said, come up with some of the bigger decisions of which plants I need to let go of. So let's take a look at some of the ones that I need to rehome. And yes, you might think I'm crazy for giving away some of them, but as I said, I asked myself that question, and these are the 5, maybe 6 that I've come up with. So the first one obviously was the Birkin, the one that was right at the beginning. So look at him, he's absolutely beautiful. And I actually repotted him about 4 months ago, and the growth has just come through really beautifully. There's actually 3 plants in one here. But even with all this growth, all the new pattern and everything, it looks beautiful. But I'm not looking at this guy obsessed like I do with some of my other plants. Like I have a plant that's only 3 leaves and I still think it's absolutely gorgeous. Whereas this one, I'm like, I want to love it, but I don't. You know, it's like dating someone who's like looks perfect on paper, but you're just not into it anymore. Does that make sense? And honestly, it's growing so beautifully. It's got really lovely variegation, really lovely pattern. I know someone else will walk past this daily and have that excitement feeling. So that's who this little plant deserves. So I'm going to definitely rehome this one to a much better place. Okay, so this is one of them. The next one though is probably even more of a surprise. The next one is this little guy. This is a pink princess, but it's actually a pink princess variety that I have never seen before, and I bought it at a nursery. It's called Pink Desire. And when I bought it, it was only a couple of little leaves. And the very first main leaf when I bought it was almost like half pink, half, you know, greeny brown that pink princesses are. So it's done okay. You know, the leaves are coming out with a little bit of variegation, but I now also have another variety of pink princess called the Pink Princess Galaxy, Marble Galaxy, and I love that one. So I've decided that maybe I'll give this to someone, see if they can put it in a little bit more light, encourage more variegation out, and see if someone will love it. And see, look, this new leaf that's coming out actually has quite a lot of pink, but that is very encouraging. Maybe I might not give it away. No, I have to get rid of it. I've got plenty of pink princesses. Now you can probably see with this one why it needs a rehome. There we go. This is a Monstera standleyana, I hope I say that right. Now this was actually one of the first plants that I had in my collection. I probably bought it in my first year, and I did love the variegation at first, but it's just been sitting out the back in, you know, quite far away. I hardly ever look at it. I honestly put it in something that I call Darwin's Corner, which is that corner of my house where all the plants go to die. Or it's called Darwin's Corner because if they survive on their own, it's survival of the fittest. So if he survives, I might, you know, do something about it. And this girl, or this guy, actually has survived and come back a little bit, but it's been eaten and it hasn't been given the best sunlight to get variegated more. So again, I think someone will take this. I'll sell it, but I'll sell it for quite cheap. Someone can bring out the beauty in it a lot more than I can. And honestly, the moss pole that it's got on there is worth, what, $30, $40 on its own. So I think that'll do okay. I'll just give it to someone who will love it and bring out the beauty back to that plant. The next 3 that I want to show you are actually around my house, so let's go have a little bit of a walk and I'll show you 3 more. So the next one is my bird of paradise here. I literally recently repotted it again about a couple of months ago, just like the Birkin, around the same time actually. And it's doing beautifully. There's a new leaf coming out, so it's just beautiful. It got a little bit burnt on one of the small babies in a 40-degree day recently, but ultimately I actually have 2 birds of paradise. So this one is just easier to get to, so is going to stay, but it was literally just because of where it's sitting right now. So healthy, doing well. It'll be interesting to see how this one goes on Marketplace, because I will be selling this one because it's what, 2.5 meters tall, so it needs someone to come and collect it with a truck or something. And then this next one, you might think I'm a little crazy, I think some of you, but I've decided to sell my philodendron silver sword. Again, she's pretty beautiful. She's not a bad plant at all. She's got new growth coming out, a nice moss pole, still hasn't lost many of the down leaves. In fact, there's a little bit of a secondary growth coming out there, but it's just one of those plants that I just look at and don't think much of, even though it's doing so well. And I think it's trying its darndest to stay in my collection, but it's got to go. I'm not looking after it enough. And this girl could be beautiful and the leaves can be much bigger. So this one, I know some of you are out there thinking, what is she doing with this, and probably the Birkin. But yeah, this one is also, unfortunately, breaking up with me today. Okay, there's one final one upstairs, and this one I'm actually not sure of, so I'm going to need your help with this one. So this is the one that I actually need your help deciding what I should do with it. Should it stay, or should I rehome it to someone else who's going to look after it just as much, if not better? It is my 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗏 constellation. And look, it's growing beautifully. It's got 3rd level fenestrations. It's growing that well. I actually put it on a moss pole really quickly when it was young, so it's grown big leaves very quickly. So it's only about, well, the plant stem itself is only about that tall. And as you can see, the plant itself is about, what, 1.5 meters tall. Now, I do love it. It's done very well for me. You know, it's growing very well. It's got big, beautiful leaves, but the space it's in is taking up basically the whole window, which is okay for now. And for a 𝗏 constellation, I must admit, the variegation isn't as strong as I would like it to be. And I actually have 2 smaller, much smaller 𝗏 constellations downstairs that have a lot better variegation. So I'm wondering if I should sell this one, move it, rehome it to someone who has the space for it, who can still look after it just as well, and then make some new space and grow and kind of start again with the one of the smaller plants and see if I can get even more variegation out of it. So what should I do? Can you vote for me? Can you please help me decide what to do with it? Because I am so in 2 minds at the moment. Should I keep him in my collection and see how big he grows and see how much space he really does take up? Or should I rehome him to someone who loves him a little bit more than I do and start again with my one of my smaller 𝗏 constellations? So it's up to you. Please vote. Tell me what you think I should do in the comments down below. So there we go. That was the 6 plants. That was the 6 big breakups. And I also got loads of little propagations here, many rehab plants that I can finally let go of. I need to do something about. They're all gone or they're going. So speaking of getting these out the door to a good home, I've actually built myself a little bit of a system now that's helped me really turn my plant propagations and now my plant rehoming into a little bit of a side hustle or a side hobby. And I'm earning on average around $300 extra each month. So if you want to make some extra money in 2026 doing something you absolutely love, then you need to watch this next video. And that's actually where I'm going to leave you today. So have an amazing week full of leaves, love and laughter, where you can really enjoy your plants, truly get the joy out of your plants. And I will see you in the next video where we can make some money. See you later, bye.